Yo,
we are back.
Welcome to PVT, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy. My bad. I'm just joking. Go ahead, Moo.
I was gonna let you rock, but I didn't even lie to you. I was gonna let you rock. I was gonna say my boy DJ Martin. He is back in the building. Go ahead. But we are back with another episode of PVT. I am your host, Moolage. I'm back with my co-host, the illustrious Willie Beeman, and of course, we got my boy, my main guy back, DJ Michael B.
In the words of the great T.I., recognize I'm back. Let's get it.
Good to have you back.
I'm happy to be back, man. I've been watching y'all. I've been watching y'all. Y'all know I've been in the comments, man. Y'all been holding it down and doing y'all thing, man. I love it. I absolutely love it.
You know, we got to keep it. We got to keep the train rolling and whatnot. We're just glad that my boy is safe above water. You know what I'm saying? And alive in action, you know what I'm saying? So we can get back to talking this good sports, man. So just to kick us off real quick before we get into some extra stuff real quick. How we think about Summer League right now, fellas?
Summer League's interesting. A lot of your top picks aren't doing that well, and a lot of your mid-round picks are doing actually better than I would have expected.
Facts.
But for the most part, I think people forget in Summer League that a lot of veterans also do play Summer League that's not already in the NBA. And so for the first time, you're that guy against NBA talent and not just people you're better than in college. So you have to get used to, you have to adjust to the game. I think Summer League is good because if you adjust to the Summer League game, you have an easier transition in the NBA preseason and season. But if you're struggling in Summer League against top tier competition that's been in the league 4 or 5 years and playing in Summer League, if you're struggling against them, I just don't think you're ready for the NBA. And you might want to take 1 or 2 years in the G League just to develop yourself. So it's been good though. I like it. I've been enjoying it.
Most definitely. What we thinking?
It's been mid to me. You saw some good performances there. You saw some bad ones. But the thing that impressed me though, and I gave him hell. And I will continue to give him hell when he fuck up. But Bronny James, he played all right the other night. So I got to give him his props on that. I got to give him his props. You saw him come off in the open lanes, hitting layups. He wasn't taking those stupid, risky chances on defense like he's been doing in past Summer League games.
Yeah.
So I gotta give him props. He played well. I think they're playing right now. Yeah. But last time he played well. I gotta give him props. I gotta give Bronny props.
I will say one of my problems with Bronny James is the gambling on defense.
Yeah.
You're now on, even if it's Summer League or G League, this isn't college. You can't gamble the way you did because everybody's speed, every guard has the speed you have or better.
Yep.
It's not the way it was when it's like, hey, if I run a 40 and I run a 4.3, the next shooting guard on the other side of me could run a 5 point. This is not college. Right. 1% of college players make the NBA. Just like in NCAA in football. 1% of college players make the NFL. There are linemen in the NFL that run 4.8s.
Yep.
Man.
You might run a 4.8 in college, and the person across from you in college might run 5.3, 5.4. But he's not going to make the NFL. But he's a Division I talent because he's way better than everybody else at that position. So he deserves to be Division I talent. I think to your point, I think Bronny had a very, very good game. And I think people are overanalyzing his game too. You got to remember, he didn't even play a lot of college basketball.
No.
He's kind of coming in just like red or fresh. And meanwhile, it might be because of his last name and his dad or whatever, and his dad and JJ Redick and Rob Pelinka being all cool. But
true.
Shit, let me tell y'all something. I damn sure ain't mad at it because people do that shit in every other profession. So
they do. Nepotism is out there. It's out there everywhere.
Most people didn't even know what the hell nepotism was until Bronny got into the league. Like, I'd never heard the term. I'm one of them. I'd never heard the term nepotism before. I just always said it ain't what you know, it's who you know. So, I mean, Bronny is. I personally think he's overperforming for where he got picked he got picked 55.
55,
I mean, like
55th.
He you know what I'm saying? Like Draymond was a late second round pick too. Isaiah Thomas a late second round pick too. But for the most part, I mean, like when you draft somebody anywhere, this is not the NFL where the first 3 rounds are key. It's the NBA. Your first round, you got your first round that's completely key, and then your second round, you kind of like, well, I'm drafting based on potential and upside, and if they just so happen to maximize that and go over, you get lucky. Draymond is one of those.
Yep.
You got Isaiah Thomas, another one. Got lucky and overperformed where he was picked. If Bronny James doesn't overperform from where he's picked, he's not a bust. People make it seem like he's a bust, but he's not. So, I mean, he's a hooper though. He is a hooper. I mean, like most people that talk shit about Bronny on social media, they can't even guard Bronny in the street. Bronny would kill him. So that just tells you enough right there. But hey, man, I hope to see good things from him. I mean, he's a better shooter than his dad. I can tell you that much.
I think the thing with Bronny, once he carves, he's gonna be a cut and slash dude, and a dude who can go back and play decent defense once he stops taking chances and gambles. That's why I think Bronny will end up. And hey, if you get that from him, a good defender, a cutter, a slasher, somebody can work good in your half court,
playmaker too.
You winning.
He's a good playmaker. He can definitely pass the ball. So
yeah,
I think with Bronny, it's more with having him see the game at a different level, other than he hasn't played. And this the reason why I said that he should ultimately go back to college, because he hasn't played a lot of basketball when it comes to high level competitive basketball. That's not high school, right? So when you look at college basketball, like there's going to be some high level NBA players that are going to be out there that are going to get you ready for the NBA, right? And not playing a lot of high school basketball, right? Or playing a lot of high school basketball, but they're not playing a lot of college basketball because you went through the thing with your heart. It's kind of hinders you from where you should be. And I think if he just needs to be able to see the game a lot better and have it kind of slow down for him. And I think he's going to work out a lot well. He's not going to be a superstar in the league. I don't think anybody is expecting that. It's just a lot of people are looking at him, looking at what he could be, and understanding that there's something there that probably could be built on. But if he would have went back to college, then he would have been able to show it on the floor a lot better.
That's a good point. I can definitely, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, because a lot of people might take it the wrong way, but I want people to realize that Gary Payton II was a very big, he was a very, very big contributing factor in 2022 to the Golden State Warriors winning that championship. He came in, played good minutes, scored 6-7 points a game, and was just consistent in what he did. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong, bro. If you can average 7 points a game in the NBA, especially in a playoffs, especially just in the playoffs, whether it be a series or the whole playoffs, you can have a spot in the NBA.
Go back to the day when you're dealing with Chicago, when you're dealing with the Chicago Bulls. Scott Williams wasn't that high of a draft pick, but when you go back and you look at him in the playoffs, he always contributed. He always upped his game. Points, rebounding, defensive presence. He always upped his game in the playoffs and helped them be successful. You don't have to be the highest fan. You don't have to be the highest player you don't have to be the highest drafted player in the world to make a difference. You don't.
I mean, and it's true. And that's the thing I think a lot of people are missing, right? It's not the fact that, everybody wants him to be the superstar and, he's LeBron James' kid, so he has to be. He doesn't have to be like that. It's him learning the role that he's supposed to play and having the game come to him naturally, instead of him trying to go out there and force it because he's LeBron James Jr. and he has to live up to some kind of weird ass name that everybody is expecting him to live up to. And I think just watching him right now, sometimes he plays a little too fast. And if he starts to slow down and understand the game and just let the game come to him naturally, he'll get a lot more looks, a lot better looks, especially on defense. And I think when it comes to defense, it's more just speed lapses, right? A lot of people don't understand the fact that NBA is a lot faster, right? Whether it's G League, whether it's Summer League, whether it's in the regular season, especially in the playoffs, it's a lot faster. Even when you're playing the Nuggets, a team that likes to slow down the pace, it's still quick, very, very quick, right? So understanding how to defend and understanding where to step up and where to rotate in different spaces. And I think that is his main thing, is understanding just spacing of the floor and how everything is going to work out, and just understanding it's not just like high school or college to where things are going to look easy. There's going to be times where they're going to trap you. They're going to send a double. They're going to send a triple. They're going to send a back cut. They're going to send a front cut. They're going to, step up and stunt. They're going to step back and give you, like, it's all about reading and reacting. So I think once he starts to see the game at a different level, I think that he's going to end up solid, right? And I think a lot of people are definitely being, too critical of him at the moment for him being a 55th pick, which, like everybody says, nobody is putting that much stock into a 55th pick. We get it, right? It's just, I understand the statements where everybody is like, oh, well, there are some people that probably should have deserved to get that spot other than Bronny. And he probably should have just been able to work his way up or be able to secure a free agency spot because his name is LeBron James Jr. Even though, him probably getting drafted is the reason why, but his name would still carry him in the free agency to where he'll be able to land on the spot. It just so happened to be what it's.
I'm sorry, bro. Like, nobody has ever cared about a 55th pick, ever. Nobody's ever cared about a 55th pick.
Nope.
Nobody talks about him, and
so
everybody is talking about.
It shouldn't matter.
And how he's been struggling, which he has been, and it's right. Everybody wants to talk about, oh well, y'all don't keep the same energy for this guy that you guys kept for Bronny, and it's like, yes, we do. We've been
yes, we
about
did.
Yes, we do.
We've been talking about how niggas were all season, like all NCAA season, like with how uneventful all of these niggas were. We've literally been talking about it every single goddamn show, every single day. It's like I remember all the draft memes. Who are these niggas? Who are these niggas? Because who the fuck are you?
Literally, what was it? The second pick, Alex whatever the hell that dude name is.
Alex Star,
he had a freaking horrible game, and it's just horrible. Like, yo, you're the second.
And I'm glad you brought that up.
What the fuck are you? What you?
And I'm glad
you're playing worse than Bronny.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because if you go back and look at it last year, Wemby had a tough summer league.
He did.
So let's not put too much stock in it, because you saw what Wemby did his first year.
And a lot of people are sitting up here saying that, oh, well, Alex Sarr, he still did everything on defense and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, he's 7 foot, of course. Like, he's 7 everything. If he doesn't have 1,000,001 fucking rebounds, 3 and at least 2 fucking blocks a game, then, nigga, what are we doing here?
Let me ask y'all a question real quick, Moo. Are you more impressed with Alex Sarr averaging 2 blocks a game, or are you more impressed with Bronny James playing the passing lanes and getting steals and with the all-around game?
Bronny playing the passing game, getting all-around steals.
Exactly, because you're, like I said, you're 7 foot, bro. Like, if you
can't average 2 blocks a game,
right?
If you can't score, if anything, I need 2 blocks a game,
right?
If anything, you feel me? Like, so it's just, it's just, I think when it comes to these young guys, right, and who these guys are and the flack that they're getting, I think it's warranted, because a lot of these guys, they're like I said, like we said about last week's show, a lot of them are coming in underdeveloped, right?
Yep.
With DJ Michael B, I'm gonna ask you about that as soon as we finish with this. But a lot of them are coming in underdeveloped. Okay, Bronny, I see you. That's a nice shot. A lot of them are coming in not really knowing or understanding the role that they're supposed to be or they're supposed to take when they get to the next level. So when you look at this class that just got drafted, it's like a lot of these guys are focused on the one and done, and they're got the NILs, and they're coming from being the star perspective on their team, but they're not necessarily learning how to play the game at the NBA level and learning the roles.
And we talked about it last week too. That's the difference between the European players and us.
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
We so worried about the 3-pointer, or we so worried about the dunk. Okay, what about running plays? What about running plays on the opposite end on the clipboard? How about that?
Yeah. There you go. So DJ Michael B, what you thinking? How do you feel about the developed v underdeveloped. Do you think that a lot of the American guys, or just guys in general that are coming out of college, are coming in more underdeveloped than some of the European players?
Yeah, and more importantly, I keep hearing from people this is supposed to be the most skilled era, and they're more skilled than the 90s and the 80s and this and that.
It is.
But I don't see it. I absolutely don't see it. Some of these guys can't make a left-handed layup. You know what? I blame AAU because AAU make these stack teams.
Been saying that for the longest.
AAU makes these stack teams, and because you're full of potential, and that team is full of potential and very athletic, you're just better than everybody. You're better than every other team because most of these teams cannot guard you because you're too fast, you're too quick. This is what happens when AAU takes precedent in basketball over skills. Social media takes precedent in basketball over skills. Too many people are concerned with making the highlight reel. Like there's too many players that want to make the highlight reel. They want to make the highlight reel in trend. Whereas a lot of your better players right now, I'm not even talking about your look. You know a superstar when you see one from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? You know a top player when you see one, whether it's elementary, junior high, high school. You just know that person is just better than everybody else they're playing against. But when you get to college, the playing field levels. And if you could dominate college talent, then you have potential to be able to go to the NBA and be one of the all-time greats. But AAU has it to where a lot of people go on super teams and they just believe they're better than what they are. Like you have one shooter, one ball handler, everybody else is athletic and long. And because your point guard is 6 foot, your shooting guard is 6'2", your small forward is 6'5", and your center is 6'8", your power forward is 6'8" in AAU, and nobody's close to your height. Man, you better fucking dominate. What are we talking about here?
Thank you.
You better dominate. Because the other team's center is 6'3". He might be the best player on the team when it comes to ball handling, to shooting, all that, but he's 6'3". He's the tallest person on the team, so he can't do nothing but guard the center. And that's, I just personally, Moo might agree with this, and I think Willie will agree with this too. I'm not saying the 90s are the best skill generation of basketball. What I will say though is the 2000s are. The 2000s is the best skill, the best, because people will sit there and say, well, they weren't shooting as well, this and that. You're absolutely right. They weren't. But you know what was even better? The defense was better.
I think the 90s, I think the 90s era is more, I think it's well taught.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's well taught.
The 90s era is more X's and O's from a coaching standpoint.
Yep.
But the 2000s has the individuals is individual skilled.
Yep.
The problem I see with a lot of players right now, it's a bunch of fucking one-way players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when Moo, you know, when we were on Basket to Basket, and I don't remember if it was you, I think it was you and Boo Wop was telling me, oh, Draymond Green is better than Rasheed Wallace. Absolutely the fuck not.
Where he at? I need to talk to him about that. Where he at?
Absolutely the fuck not.
Hell
no.
Hell no.
And I get it. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't leave Boo Wop on the island by himself. You know what I'm saying? You had to. But Moo, come on. Tell me.
That's recency bias, man. That's what that is.
All I had to ask them, Willie, was tell me one thing outside of defense that Draymond does better than Rasheed Wallace. And that's not saying Rasheed Wallace can't play defense. That's just saying Draymond is a better defender than Rasheed Wallace.
Right.
Name me one. Name me one thing.
I can't.
You can't do it.
I can't. You feel? And
you can't do it.
For me specifically, I said it was more of a toss-up. For me, like I said, for me personally, I said it was more of a toss-up. Even though we understand that Rasheed's offensive prowess is a lot higher than Draymond, it's understanding what Draymond had, what the backseat that Draymond had to take because you have a guy like Steph Curry, like Klay Thompson, and you add Kevin Durant.
Okay,
so,
but on the flip side of that, you also got to remember too, right? And this is my biggest point. Rasheed Wallace, when he was on the Trailblazers, he wasn't allowed to do that. And he was the best defender on the Trailblazers. But when he got to the Pistons, we all understand Ben Wallace was the best defender. So he got to take a back seat and exert himself more on offense. But when he was at the Trailblazers, it was
that dude on defense. He was that dude.
So So on the flip side of it, on defensive wise, it's completely opposite. Because Rasheed's like, look, I could gamble more. I could do this more because I got Big Ben behind me, and Big Ben is this guy. And Draymond is like, I could gamble more on offense on whether I take the shot or not, and this and that. Because if I miss, and Kevin Love or Andrew Bogut or whoever it is down there can get the rebound and get a second chance shot, I got Mr. Automatic on the wing, a.k.a. Sean Livingston, who didn't miss a shot with the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs. Or Steph Curry, Mr. Automatic 3, or Klay Thompson, Mr. Automatic. I could just make anything. He has more leeway to do that. So the same thing that Draymond gets on offense is the same thing that Rasheed Wallace gets on defense on the Pistons.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And like I said, I definitely understood your point. Like I said on the show, I definitely understood your point. It's just, me for sure, I'm always gonna go with the home team, my guy. So I'm gonna back my guy.
But
I would never say definitively
don't do shit like that now,
Willie.
But Draymond is like.
Here's the kicker, though, Willie.
It was a one-on-one, right? It was a one-on-one.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Willie, here's the kicker. This nigga Boo-Wop said with a straight face that 1v1, Draymond Green would beat Rasheed Wallace.
And I can't say that. It's hard for me to say that it's gonna be like a wash or anything. It's because like we understand the offensive prowess that Draymond has. We've seen it. Right, he's a facilitator, right? And when
but this is 1v1 though.
Facilitating,
and that's the thing. When it
matters 1v1,
exactly in a 1v1, right? We understand where he came from, right? Coming from a Tom Izzo led program of.
I'm a Michigan State fan, so I'm a Draymond fan.
And understanding where he was, right, offensively at that point in time in his career, right, and understanding that. Where the backseat that he took. Like I said, if y'all take Sheed, I ain't got no arguments with you because watching what she did, not only on the Trailblazers, but on the Pistons, especially what he was doing offensively, the turnaround mid-game, the drop step at the free throw line with
the three-pointer.
But the thing about it, though, the three-pointer was only to me, was only icing on the cake. I thought, me personally, where she got his work, was all around that goddamn free throw line and that mid range. He would cook and kill you at that body position up, turn around, face, back, jumping.
Speaking of, I'm happy I have y'all here because I know 1v1 is a basket to basket segment, but I really have to ask y'all this. Maybe my answer is on 1v1, but somebody asked me in a Facebook group, and I think y'all gonna love this 1v1. Y'all are gonna love it. Okay, I just have to ask y'all. Sit back. Think about it because I had to think about it too for a little bit before I made my decision. We got a 1v1. Michael Redd or Allen Houston?
Damn.
I was asked that in the Facebook group.
Damn.
Bro, it took me almost 8 hours to answer that question.
Allen Houston was nice early on.
Damn.
Bruh.
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
In the spirit of PVT, are you taking Michael Redd or Allen Houston in a 1v1?
That's crazy, man. Damn. Ooh wee.
And I want everybody who disrespected Michael Redd when they dropped the 19. Well, when they dropped when they dropped the 1992 or the Dream Team, when they dropped the Dream Team picture and remember him of this Olympic team, they had dropped the Dream Team picture and they was like, how many can you name? And everybody was naming all of them, and everybody was like, oh, who is the guy in the back next to? Y'all gonna stop disrespecting Michael Redd, bro? Okay.
Michael Redd was nice. He was
don't
nice.
Do that, okay. Don't do that. Okay.
You see, it's so hard for y'all to pick,
man.
It is, bro. This is crazy. This is a crazy 1v1. Main reason being is because both of these guys are crazy dynamic scoring.
They're similar. They are so like
dynamic scoring, bro.
People forget like Michael Redd before Giannis and right when Andrew Bogut Michael Redd was on the Redeem team. Michael Redd was on the Redeem team. People forget how cold Michael Redd was.
He was really crazy, bro.
Oh my god, bro! Like, you said the Dream Team, but I think you meant the Redeem team.
Yeah, no, the Redeem team. Yeah. But Michael Redd was insane.
He was insanely good. Insanely good.
Bro, that's when I was still playing NBA Live. Michael Redd was the motherfucking truth.
The truth.
That motherfucker was like a 95.
That's so cool.
Man.
It's like a 95 or 98.
Like people, you know what? People really forget how good Allen Houston was.
Dude,
Allen Houston was that dude, bro.
And it's crazy because Allen Houston got better scoring as he got older. That's the scary part.
I don't think people understand like that New York Knicks team. Latrell Sprewell was the number one option, and Patrick Ewing was not the number two. It was Allen Houston that was the number two.
Yep,
bro, that's a crazy.
Larry Johnson was the number three. Patrick Ewing was the number four.
I miss LJ. And I miss LJ, man.
I think that, and see, this is the reason why, bro. I think this is the reason why DJ Michael B. I think this is the reason why y'all point when y'all said the 2000s and even the 90s can be considered more skilled than this era is because look at the numbers that these guys were putting up in an era where there was less, quote unquote, less 3-point shooting, right? It was quote more fouls. All were dribbling like plumbers and all the stuff like that. Like everybody's not supposed to be as skilled. Like you drop Kyrie, you drop Steph Curry in that era, and they're averaging 50 points, right? That's what all the young kids say. But looking at the Michael Redds, looking at the Allen Houstons, looking at the Kobe Bryants, the Vince Carters, the Tracy McGrady's, the Paul Pierces, it's like
Kobe alone, bro.
These guys are tremendously skilled, bro. It was so insane, bro.
And go back and look at the offenses that were playing then compared to now.
Bro, like I don't even think Steve Nash get the respect he deserves as a point guard. These young guys be like, look how much better they were at ball handling. This, I'm happy you can handle the ball, but when it's time for me to go get a bucket, can you go get me a fucking bucket in the 2000s?
Yep.
You can't. You can't.
And I think that's the ultimate difference because you can say like, oh, well, the bag is deep, right? Oh, well, dribble. And when I played basketball, my basketball coach, he never really cared about fucking all the dribbling. He used to say, bro, just don't move because he's doing all that dribbling and he's not going nowhere.
Right.
Just don't move.
And part of the thing with the 2000s is one of the biggest things is like, okay, people perfected their craft in their role. If your role was the 3-point shoot, that's what you went to the gym. If your role was 3-and-D, you perfect. Even somebody, bruh, I keep telling, even somebody like Shane Battier, just off of 3-and-D right now, could average 18 points a game in this NBA.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And it's not a knock on these guys. It's just a lot of guys aren't coming in developed. Like when you look at guys like Al Horford, right? Somebody who stayed in college 4 years, somebody who was a 2-time national champ, right? Like this is a guy who is still in the league now, can play now, is because of his skill. Yes, sure, he was probably super crazy athletic when he came into the league, but his skill and his prowess and his experience is what's carrying him throughout his career right now. The reason why he can play in years 17, 18, 19, 20 is because his footwork is different, right? His IQ.
Also, I want to throw one more thing in too. Yes, footwork is key. That's very key. He can still move his feet, shove his feet on the defensive end. His basketball IQ never left him. He still has that same basketball IQ that he came into the league with, got better, and then he just grew and grew and grew to what he is now. Somebody can stay consistent regardless of the age.
Mm-hmm. The championship pedigree that he's learned from college, the expertise that he's learned from not only college coaches but from ex-NBA players and current college playing, current NBA players, current college players. There's a different game that comes with playing college basketball or that comes with playing even G League basketball, right? Because and that's the reason why I said even if Bronny wanted to go to the G League, then he should be able to do. He should do that. Main reason being is because they teach you the game in a different way, to where now you're learning certain things and certain aspects in order that's going to carry you and carry your career to a longer, more a longevity in the NBA. But
Right.
at the same time, you do see a lot of guys that do forfeit college and go to the G League that they do kind of miss some steps, right? Jonathan Kuminga is a big example, right? Tremendous talent, jump out the gym, can score, right? But has a problem with spacing, has a problem with rebounding, has a problem with defense, right? And
there's just a problem with IQ overall.
Exactly, has a problem with IQ, not seeing the game as fast, or the game's not coming to him as fast as a lot of guys that did go to college, right? So when you're looking at the developed, the underdeveloped, it's more of a lot of these guys are coming out too quickly to get to the bag, which we're going to get to next, in order and forfeiting college, but they're losing a lot of the experience and the acumen that they can gain in college from different coaches and different players and different experiences.
To be fair, to the guys that stay in college long, not even the guys that come out quick. The exact example of this right now is the New York Knicks. Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges all play together. We could put Mikal Bridges to the side right now because this is his first year with the Knicks. But literally, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and DiVincenzo all went to college. Josh Hart and DiVincenzo wasn't given a chance until people in front of him went down. And when they went down, that chemistry, camaraderie, whatever you want to call it, it showed. Because one thing I do know, me and my brothers and my cousins have always talked about this. Yes, you learn skill in high school, and you learn how to handle ball, this and this. But you get an IQ going to college, and the longer you're in college, the bigger your IQ is. You don't even have to go pro after college, but your IQ and your mentality is going to be so far above anybody else's.
But this is what we talked about last week. Because of a player's situation, they might not be able to go all 4 years in college and get that IQ to be a better player further down the line.
Yep. And that's the reason why y'all are my guys, and the show is the way it is, because that brings me to my next segment, right? Is you see a lot of guys that will forfeit college, right? Or even now with the NIL deals, right? They're going to go to the school that's going to pay them a lot of money. It's going to go to the school that's going to give them the best outlook. And you see a lot of guys coming into the league, and whether it's the NBA, whether it's the NFL, they're coming into the league a lot younger, and they're expecting a lot bigger payouts, right? So just going to start off with this general question. You guys can go ahead and fire off. Do you guys think that these guys are getting paid too much at a young age?
I think they need to go back. I think they really need to go back, because if you go back to the 90s, guys had to earn what they got. They had to earn their keep. And Jordan mentioned it. Barkley mentioned it. They had to earn their keep. They had to prove they were worth that money. Now you're looking at, we talked about it earlier, potential. And if you don't meet that potential, it's a waste. It's a waste. Because, they might give you 2, maybe 3 years to come through that potential. If you never meet it, guess what? You out the league. So I would sort of kind of like to see a system where they had to prove it per se. It ain't going to happen. It won't happen because the way things are now, because you're looking at instant gratification. But I would love to see a system where guys had to earn it first before they got the money. But again, you won't see that, because you're looking at instant gratification for the teams, and you're looking at instant gratification for the fans. So I would love to see a system where they have to go back and prove. Yeah, pay them, yes, but make them prove that they deserve that money first.
Okay.
I echo everything Willie says. I don't want to come off sounding like a hater, right? I really don't, because people come on there. He should be canceled because he's a hater and he's hating that we're making all this money. No, I'm not hating. Number one, I think NIL was needed. So I'll start by saying that I think NIL was needed because colleges were literally profiting off of free labor. So I do think NIL was needed. But I also think NIL needs a salary cap.
That's a fair point.
I think it needs to be regulated. As far as going into NBA and these guys getting, hell yeah, they're overpaid.
Yep.
Yes. This is what, bruh?
Ain't proved nothing. Ain't proved nothing yet.
I'm not. See, this is why I'm not in. This is exactly why I am not a GM. I'm not paying you based on your potential. And a lot of guys have gotten to the point where they expect to be paid on potential.
Right.
All right. You average 15 points per game for 1 year. What about next year? And your contract expires the year after that. After 1 year, you average 50 points per game. You're coming to me telling me you need a contract.
DJ, how many times have you seen? And how many times guys get in a contract year? They get in the contract. They kick it up for the contract. They get the contract. What happened to them that next year?
Big facts. Like, I don't think these guys have to earn it anymore. All they got to do is make it to the league. Because I hate to say it like this, but Charles Barkley was absolutely right a couple of years ago, and he was like, we used to have to compete to make millions of dollars. These guys don't have to compete to make millions of dollars.
Nope.
All they got to do is make it to them. Bruh, at this point, your worst player, your 15th, I'm not going to say your worst player, because sometimes they're not your worst player. Sometimes it's just the 15 man on the bench, and you got two players in front of you that's better. So you don't have that person there alone will make over $1 million in a year. Whereas back in the day, they were making $125K a year. I'm not saying $125K isn't sufficient, because it is. I'll get on whoever bench right now for $125K.
You ain't lying.
Hello.
You ain't lying.
I definitely will.
Hey, Chicago, I'm right here.
Yeah, so like but for the most part, yeah, these niggas overpaid. They're very overpaid.
I'm just trying to figure, and even though it was on like
overpaid,
and it was only $4 million, guys. I'm still trying to figure out how Pat Bev got that.
Well, I mean, you remember he did get like a $20 million contract from the Sixers at one point in time.
And it was good in Houston.
Yeah, and he did get paid a lot in Houston too. I think when it comes to these athletes getting paid, I think both of you guys are definitely right? When it says there definitely needs to be a some way, shape, or form of an earning kind of period, right? And you can't just sit up here and give a guy 10, 12, $15 million and he hasn't really did anything to earn it yet, right? Like you're basically just throwing money at a guy for him, just like y'all said.
Not only that, but you see some of this curved in the NFL because they're starting to care more about the players and their future afterward. But I haven't heard the NBA do this. And if you have, please correct me. These guys getting all this money, but no one in the NBA is trying to tell these guys how to hold on to the money. You see it in the NFL, but you don't see it in the NBA.
Well, part of that also is because when an NBA player signs his contract, that shit is fully guaranteed. Fully guaranteed from the
I understand that point.
So
I understand that point. But I'm just saying how to spend it. Yeah, it's fully guaranteed. That's fine. It's gonna come to you. But how you gonna spend it to hold on to it? To parlay to get ready from when you're not playing anymore.
And I think that's a big factor, right? Because before we get into that, I wanted to ask, do you think there should be some way, shape, or form of a cap on what rookies or what these young guys can get before they hit a certain age, so that you're not just throwing a whole bunch of money at a young guy to where he's out, he's spending all this money at the club, he's buying all of this stuff, but he's not really necessarily being.
Let me go first. Williamson. Willie, let me go first on this one.
Go ahead.
Moo. Yes, you're absolutely right. There was a Derrick Rose rule made for this exact point. If you over play the contract that you were getting and you make an all-star in your first 2 years, you can get out of your rookie contract literally and sign an extension for a max deal or however much the team wants to pay you over the next 4 years. That's why the rule was made.
Yep.
Exactly why the rule was made. Because Derrick Rose, his third year in the NBA, he was definitely outperforming his contract. That's why the rule was made. If you're not outperforming your contract and making all NBA teams or all-star teams and things of that nature, man, sit your ass down and shut up. You're an average NBA player, and you will be paid as such. And when it's your time to get paid, they will pay you. Like, bruh, 15 points a game in this day and age is not 15 points a game in the 90s. 15 points a game in the 90s would give you a third of your team scoring.
You worked for 15 points a game in the 90s. You worked.
15 points a game is like a seventh, or if you're scoring 145 points and you score 15 points, that's not even a third of your team's points. That's not a quarter of your team's points.
Nope.
Because a quarter of your team's points at 15 is 60 points. It's 60 points in total. You're not even scoring a quarter of your team's points. In order for you to score a quarter of your team's points now, you got to score 40, 30 plus easily to make it a quarter. 15 points mean you're an average NBA player. I can sit here and go through what I do and adjust. Like I did. Like, y'all don't know this, but at one point when me and GQ had our show, I adjusted LeBron's pace of game for the 90s game, and I adjusted Michael Jordan's game for the pace of game based on percentage. And based on percentage, for points per game, the pace that you played and this and that, Michael Jordan was way above and beyond LeBron as an overall player when it comes to scoring. You know, so like that's just what it is. The pace of play and things like that going through different eras. We adjusted it. I have this thing called a gentleman's scale of greatness. I know I've never done it on anything on from the sidelines, but trust me, it's coming. It's coming in my next in the post. Don't worry.
Bet.
But I got a gentleman's scale of greatness where I give you a certain amount of stars or a certain amount of points for MVP, Finals MVP, this and that, and going through where you top 10 in scoring, where you top 5 in scoring, where you first in scoring, where you a second in scoring. I have a whole scale to compare careers to figure out who was the GOAT. And whenever I was, and this is not favoring Michael Jordan. This was just me coming up with the different things and the different tiers. And Michael Jordan did score the highest overall, regardless.
No, definitely.
Most definitely Michael Jordan scored the highest and LeBron scored the second highest. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scored the third. The same way I have it in my top 5 was exactly the same way it actually turned out for me just watching the game of basketball, which is insane.
That makes sense.
I thought the top 3 was the same. The top 10 turned different because Tim Duncan ended up number 5 overall all time over Larry Bird. So
I mean, that's not a bad spot.
What you know what I'm saying? But to answer you, yes, man. Come on. 15 points per game. Bro, Tobias Harris can score 50 points per game in this NBA.
Don't bring that fool up to me. Don't even bring him up.
Moo, are you going to sit here and tell me ugly J. Cole could average 15 points in the 90s? Jared Bayless,
Tobias, man.
Jared Bayless can score 50 points per game in this fucking NBA.
Come
on, man.
And I gotta ask y'all a question, right? How do y'all feel about guys who don't want to take a pay cut or feel like they're worth more or don't want to accept a specific role and the money that comes with that role because they feel like they're worth more, right? They're coming off of a championship, or they may feel like because they're getting up there in age and they used to be a superstar that they still deserve that kind of superstar love.
You're an idiot.
How do y'all feel about guys who kind of won't accept proverbial writing on
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You take any opportunity you can to stay in the league and keep yourself relevant. If you've got to play a different position, you've got to play a different role, you take a pay cut. All it takes is for you to win. And can you imagine the money out the league you can recoup? Can you imagine that? You're a champion. If you win a championship, let's say Clay wins another one. Let's say Clay wins one with the Mavericks. Okay, they gave him a good contract. That's fine. You can go out and make even more money in endorsements. Come on, man. You got to factor that in too. You you can't be an idiot, man. You can't be an idiot.
From the research I did, Klay Thompson's shoe does very, very well in China. Like very well.
T-Max did too.
Yep.
T-Max did too. T-Max did too. True.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all know the headline. Hella famous in China.
We gonna do. I ain't gonna let nobody come back here and disrespect T-Mac. Hell no.
I'm a Rockets fan. I can never
has a huge market.
Hell no.
China got a huge market, man. I mean, I can't hate on somebody who would take their shoes international because obviously they can't. A lot of people don't get access. A lot of countries don't get access to the abundance of Jordans and Adidas and all these fucking new shoes that drop all the goddamn time in the US. So like if you can have a solid brand overseas that is going to kill the game over there where everybody's going to be walking around and playing in your shoes, capitalize.
Number one, let me tell you how the god of international, it's Tony Parker.
For sure.
Tony and Dirk are the gods.
Would you say Tony Kukoc is number 3?
Tony Kukoc is number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I think Tony Kukoc is number 3 because a lot of people forget Hakeem is also an international player because he lives but Moo, ask your question again. I forgot the question.
Basically saying do you feel like older guys or guys should start to realize their worth instead of trying to push for more money, just realize their worth and take what the team is proverbially going to give you and stop trying to push for more money because you feel like you're either a superstar player or you were a superstar player and the team may owe you some love or coming off a championship. So you might want to be, trying to ask for some more money because of the role you play in the championship may have been a little bigger. Like, do you feel like guys are warranted in doing that? Or you feel like they should just shut the fuck up and just take what the fuck the team's going to get you?
I'm 50-50. And the reason why I'm 50-50 on this is because while I do think a lot of guys, and y'all know I'm a big fan of Robert Horry, but Robert Horry is the perfect example. Championship experience, he's going to play his part, and he's going to play his part well. If your part is a role player, Robert Horry will play your role player like a fucking superstar. He'll play his role player part of superstar.
Right. He's going to accept what's given.
Right. But on the flip side of things, I'm not mad if you go get your money either. And the reason why I say that is because teams itself have made the value of winning a championship and championship value so overvalued. Well, I think like if you're going to overvalue it, and as you have, then shut the fuck up and pay the shit. Y'all made it overvalued that this person won a championship and you bringing him on your team. That's y'all. Y'all did that. You did it to yourselves. That's so because you did it to yourselves, I don't care what I don't care if KCP goes in and demands $20 million a year, $25 million a year. Like, I think you're worth 15. Well, I won a championship, and you said just because Joe Schmo was on the championship team and barely and played 5 minutes a game, and you gave him $5 million. I'm at least worth the extra $5 million plus the 15 million I've been getting paid for scoring 10 points a game. So I'm worth 20 million. So I have teams overvalue championship players.
But hold on. But you also got teams out there who don't value it.
Well, if they don't value it. Just stick to your guns.
Just stick to your guns, yeah.
Right.
You got a lot of teams that don't value that. You got a lot of teams that just want to make the revenue, ticket sales, TV rights, stuff like that, and just keep it rolling.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you got that out of the bracket too. And for those players on those teams, go get your money.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that's a fair point, DJ. Like, understanding, I think both of y'all actually make some fair points. One, understanding that, you see the proverbial writing on the wall. You may be an older star on the wrong side of 30. And you may be asking for, your respective franchise to, show you that kind of love just based off respect. But, sometimes it's like for the betterment of the team, these guys aren't going to want to give that guy that kind of contract. And a lot of people are going to think, oh, the Klay Thompson, situation. But there are a lot of situations in which, that team isn't going to spend that kind of money because they need to look at the outlet for the future. Take OKC with James Harden, for example, right? James Harden wanted the max. They weren't going to give him the max, right? that's them, of course, knowing that they're sacrificing the future MVP-like player that, well, of course, nobody knew at the time, but 6-man all-star kind of player. But, of course, he wants to go get his money. Now, in James Harden's head, it's like, would you then take that kind of pay cut in order to become a champion, right, and establish more of that kind of role? Or like he did, go off, get your money, and establish that kind of role to where you feel like, nah, I'm a true number one, and I need to be out here and show it. So I think it goes both ways. And then on the same time, where it's like, where DJ Micah B is like, well, the market is set not by me. The market is set by y'all, right? The Nuggets just won a motherfucking championship last year, and Bruce Brown, he gets a few steals on defense, and he's averaging 10 points a game, and he's got 19.5 million. Like, we just won a championship this year. I averaged 15 points, 1.2 steals, 6 assists, freaking a block and a half, and 7-8 rebounds. Yeah, like my market is right above where his at. It probably higher, because what my outlook and what the work that I did was a lot more beneficial to the team than what he was doing, according to y'all, right? According to y'all and y'all market. That's y'all rules, right? But I just think it's interesting how that conversation goes, because I was having this conversation with my homeboy at work the other day, and he was just like, man, bro, like, these guys are just getting hella money, dog, hella money. Like, they up there, they in the league getting cashed out. And I was thinking, like, well, a lot of these guys earn that, but then on the other side of it, I'm just like, a lot of them is getting chicken. Yeah, they just getting chicken for sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it definitely does go both ways. But I wanted to kind of ask y'all this before we start to wind it down a little bit here. Do you think that superstars or like star caliber players should have their own market? This is going to lead into our quarterback conversation, because
I think they already have their own market, because you have the players that made an All NBA team, and you have the players that just made an All-Star team. So they already have. If you make an All NBA team, you qualify for the Supermax. Right. No matter what All NBA team you make in the past 2 years, which is why Jaylen Brown qualified for the 3.1 million, even though he didn't make an All NBA team this year. He made one last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I asked y'all that question is because we see in the NFL and how there are talks of making the quarterback market its own separate market, to where it's not necessarily infecting or impacting the money or, you know, the cap space of that team. So you have, you know, your quarterback market where you can pay the quarterback whatever the fuck they want, but then you have your other market or your other cap space to where that's to where you can use the rest to allocate the funds for the rest of the team. And so basically that's my question.
I don't like that. I just don't like that.
Guys should have their own kind of market.
I don't like that
from a team,
but
and that way if you allocate funds in a different way.
The reason why I don't like that is because you're dealing with dudes who don't deserve to be in that spot just because they play a position.
I can understand that for football. I can definitely understand that for football.
So you gonna get to what? Derek Carr got his own market. As trash as he is, he got his own market. I'm just saying.
I'll take Derek Carr back.
So you mean to tell me you go get some of these guys who don't deserve it their own tier?
Don't worry, Willie. I got you. I absolutely got you on this one. But keep cooking. You cooking.
I just don't like it, man. I don't. And you already sort of kind of seeing it now with Dak Prescott. You sort of kind of seeing it now.
Dak Prescott.
He want all this money for what have you done?
Daniel Jones.
If they don't cut Daniel Jones, they be foolish as hell if they don't cut Daniel Jones. Foolish as hell if they don't cut Daniel Jones. You let go of Saquon, but keep Daniel Jones. Come on now. Make it make sense.
That's true, they did.
I don't like it.
I got you, Willie. I definitely got you on this one.
Okay.
I'm about to absolutely cook. Here's what I will say. As far as the quarterback scale goes, fuck no, they don't deserve their own goddamn scale.
Nope.
Let me tell you why they don't deserve their own skill. They play one side of the goddamn ball. You get on the field, you throw the ball, you get off the field. You don't got nothing to do with the opposite side of the field. Whereas in basketball, you have to excel at both. That's number one. Number two, it is easier to make a basketball game more about the stars than it is a football game.
True.
LeBron can go off of 66 points tomorrow, and you're going to feel every single one of those 66 points. Easily. You're going to feel it. He can score 66 and his team scores 110. Well, shit. LeBron scored 66. The rest of the team scored, was it 45?
Yeah.
110. The rest of the team scores 45. But you're playing both sides of the ball. Whereas in football now, you affect one side of the fucking ball.
Not only that, but you're also wearing a helmet.
You're wearing a helmet. You're protected. I mean, well, basketball ain't.
But you're wearing the helmet because the individuality in the NFL is not what it is in the NBA.
I'm just gonna say nowadays, football is soft enough to you could probably play without a helmet. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's like when I hear people talk about it, I do believe basketball players should make more, even though football players out there putting their body on the line. Depending on what position, listen, y'all want to talk about pay scales and things like that. You know who deserves the pay scale to get more? It's the linemen on both sides of the ball. They are the ones getting hit every single play. They are the ones that got CTE. They are the ones that got concussion problems. They are the one that got brain problems from getting hit and knocking heads every single time. Those are the guys that deserve to make more than anybody else.
Preach it
on the football field.
Preach it.
And I'm not saying running backs don't, because running backs do play a lot of offensive line too. Linebackers play a lot of defensive line too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. But if you're playing a straight skill position, quarterback, receiver, cornerback, strong safety, you don't deserve to make more money than the offensive lineman and a defensive lineman who's putting their mental health above everybody else on this field and playing every snap. I've been on this stance for years. The high collision people that collide on every play should be paid more than the quarterback. I don't give a damn if the quarterback puts up the most points because they're thrown to the receivers. I don't give a shit about that. What I do care about is, hey, every 15 plays, you're going to go score. But every single play, when I snap this ball as a QB, my offensive linemen are getting hit and they risk getting injury every single time. Most quarterbacks get a risk getting injury once every 4 or 5 snaps. They don't play defense. And the defense don't play offense.
Nope.
But offensive linemen and defensive linemen, they get hit on every play and risk their lives every play.
Yep.
Linebackers get hit on every play. Running backs and fullbacks get hit more than anybody else outside of offensive and defensive linemen. So the fact that the running back position is devalued the way it is now is absolutely fucking insane.
Damn shame. Damn shame.
Fair point. That's a fair point. And I think ultimately, right, when it comes to these guys and they're talking about the markets, right, we understand the game is expanding. You understand that money expands, money evolves, and there's always going to be more money that's going to be made. But and this is going back to Willie's point about showing these guys financial literacy and showing them how to spend it, right? You see a lot of the NFL guys where they kind of go through financial classes. They understand that there is a way to use and make and maximize your money, right? And a lot of the times these guys it's not just the classes that these guys are taking, or it's not just the mentorship that these guys are taking sponsored by the team. It's their teammates. Their teammates are telling them like, yo, like, this is where you want to put your money in. This is where you want to put your business in. This is what you want to invest in, because that's what's going to have you come out with the highest dividend at the end, right? And that was my biggest thing going into the NIL thing. It's just like, you guys can't just hand college kids millions of dollars, right? And even with that, with the NIL, like, I still feel like there still needs to be a cap with it because, like, you have guys that are making 1.2, 2.3, all this millions and millions of dollars, but you're not telling them how to allocate it. You're not telling them how to spend it, how to properly invest it. They're running around in Corvettes and Lamborghinis and like, no, go buy a car that you can use for years on to come. Don't cash out on a goddamn Cybertruck. Like, that's not smart, right? Not fiscally.
Exactly.
These are the guys.
I don't care what kind of money. I don't care if you're the highest paid player on the team. That is not smart.
Yeah, like these are the kind of players that, you know, a lot of these guys are coming from, you know, impoverished backgrounds, communities to where, you know, they don't have a lot. And it's like the first thing you do is you go spend your money on a chain. You go spend your money on a super nice unneeded car. And it's like, nah, like there should be a lot of financial literacy taught to these kids, especially before they get to the NFL, to where they get a lot more money, right, than what they're getting now, and teach them how to use it now compared to waiting until they're 24, 25, 26 and trying to teach them how to use it then, right? So even with the NIL, you can see the guys that are the receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks, right? They get all the millions, but it's like, what about the linemen, right? What about the run? What about the linebackers, right? What about the D-line, right? Like, why don't we hear about these guys getting more, you know, like DJ Michael B said, they endure a lot more contact. They endure a lot more punishment than a lot of backs, than a lot of the receivers and DBs that we see. But we see a lot of the receivers and DBs getting a lot of the bigger contracts. So it's like, if we're gonna sit up here and tell everybody that, well, yeah, your name, image, and likeness can be worth money, then the quarterbacks can't be having $1.24 million and linemen are getting a few couple $100. Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna build more problems along the case of this NIL thing and how they're just gonna be able to get a hold on it before you're having a whole bunch of college kids running around here in fucking Lamborghinis and Cybertrucks and shit, terrorizing the world.
Yep.
But
agreed.
Before we get out of here, I want to ask y'all thoughts about the Olympics. Olympic basketball specifically.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, as far as it goes to Team USA.
Yeah, Olympic basketball specifically.
Anything less than a gold will be a failure.
Yep. Particularly with that squad they got over there.
Fair.
I would just DJ, like to tell y'all.
DJ, real quick. Before you real quick.
Go ahead.
Me and Moo was talking about it last week. How the hell Kawhi get to leave?
I actually said
Kawhi Leonard is the only nigga I know that get time off from a job before he start. That nigga transferred his PTO with him. Well, I had PTO with the Clippers, so I'm bringing it to
Clippers. Oh my gosh.
How I feel about Team USA, it's gold or bust. Losing won't be tolerated on the Americans' part. And also I do think that we need to just set up a tent or whatever and watch some basketball. Look, in all honesty, I think the Dream Team and the Redeem Team are better. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. I think they're both better because that's been a big topic now where they were like, the Dream Team could never do what this team was doing. Shut up. Yes, they could. You stop that.
The Dream Team was fire.
And no disrespect to anybody on the Dream Team, but let me explain something to you. David Robinson was better than Anthony Davis. Michael Jordan is better than Anthony Edwards. Charles Barkley, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but Charles Barkley, I do feel is better than Anthony Davis and more consistent than Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
For real.
And if y'all want to go deeper than that, Clyde Drexler is better than any other shooting, better than Reggie Miller. And he absolutely is. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. Clyde Drexler was way better than Reggie Miller. But on this team, who's the backup shooting guard? It doesn't matter because I think Clyde Drexler is better because the only shooting guards I think on this team that will go down in Olympic history is Anthony Edwards. And that's assuming that he plays shooting guard on this team.
I think
and he will
is shooting guard
because I do think Anthony Edwards should start. And I told you, Moo, remember what I told y'all from FIBA? The only person these niggas should bring back from FIBA was Anthony Edwards. I absolutely said that.
And people forget that 1990, the Dream Team. People forget how big of a team that was.
That was a big ass team.
That's a big team.
And to be fair, here's like I tell people all the time, I get it. Magic Johnson wasn't the same Magic Johnson. Larry Bird, his back was hurt. Yeah. But the problem is most people don't take the team where they are when they had the team. Most people are like, well, all the players in their prime. I tell people all the time, if we're taking the players as to where they were during their time frame, I'm taking the 96 Olympic team over the 92 Dream Team every time. Penny Hardaway in the middle of his fucking prime.
Penny Hardaway
Penny Hardaway in the middle of his prime. Grant Hill in the middle of his prime. You had Hakeem and you had Shaq in the middle of their primes. You know what I'm saying? Like you had Charles Barkley played again in the middle of his prime. These are players that were in the middle of the prime. So I would take the 96. If you're saying in the middle of their prime, who would you take? If it's just prime overall, I'm gonna take the Dream Team over any team. But if you're telling me take them the way they were when they played, I'm taking the 96 team because David Robinson came back and played.
Yep.
Hakeem played.
That's valid. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Shaquille O'Neal played.
Straight valid.
That's all. Reggie Miller played in the middle of his prime. Penny Hardaway played in the middle of his prime. Penny Hardaway was a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Like this is in the middle of their. Penny Hardaway had a short prime of what you consider a prime in the NBA career because he was still building up and he got hurt. Grant Hill is another one. He got hurt. But we all know how cold Grant Hill was. Christian Laettner should have never been on that team over Grant Hill.
Nope.
For the 92 Dream Team. Ever. Like the 92 Dream Team, the 96 Olympic team was that good. They were really that good. You had a whole bunch of players in their prime. Not saying the 92 Dream Team wasn't good, but outside of their prime, I do think if you put the 92 Olympic team in their prime and the Redeem team in their prime, I think the Redeem team could edge them 3-4. People forget how good Dwight Howard was. People forget how good Dwayne Wade was. People forget how cold Chris Bosh was, and they forget how good Dwayne Wade was. And Dwayne Wade was the best player in a championship series after 3 years in the NBA.
And we need to let all this personal BS go aside. Good and damn well, Dwight Howard should be a top 75 player.
Most definitely.
We all know this. We all know this.
Period.
Dwight beat LeBron in his prime in 2000. 6 years in, LeBron ain't got no excuse to lose to Dwight Howard and company. And they did. And this is no slight to anybody else in Orlando because Rashard Lewis is absolutely cold. Hedo Turkoglu is one of the best international players ever.
Rashard Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu, Michael Pittman.
Yep.
Michael Petrus.
Jameer Nelson.
JJ Redick,
back then.
Jameer Nelson, Rafer Alston, Courtney Lee. I know this team, dog. Hey, bro. I know that team. That team was cold.
That team was good.
So disgusting. I was like, this team is.
For me, let me ask you guys real quick. This is off topic, but do y'all really hold LeBron losing with against that team with Anderson Varejao, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Drew Gooden, Daniel Gibson?
You talking about you that lost to the Spurs?
No, I'm talking about the team that lost to Orlando.
Oh,
no. Hey, definitely. No. I give LeBron a pass every single year for 07.
Yeah, you got to.
They were nowhere near in shape or form better than the Spurs.
You got to give him a pass for that. I agree.
We talking about Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Michael Finley, Bruce Bowen, Robert Horry, Tim Duncan. What's the 7-footer? Oh my God, that backed up Tim Duncan. Alberto. That 2017 Spurs team.
That was a sick team.
Absolutely loaded.
Yeah,
absolutely loaded.
And Pop is the coach. Okay,
I will never hold it against LeBron, but I hold 2009 against him because LeBron James and Dwight Howard were evenly matched. Mo Williams was an all-star.
Yep.
LeBron was an all-star.
Yep.
And on the flip side, Rashard Lewis was an all-star, and Dwight Howard was an all-star. I don't want to hear nothing else. It was evenly matched. You got your ass kicked. That's what happened.
Plain and simple.
Dwight Howard outplayed you. He did.
Fair
no disrespect, because that Dwight Howard won. I don't think people understand. Dwight Howard won 3 DPOYs in 7 fucking years, bro. In 7 years, you're the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Come on.
No way that man should not be in the top 75.
Crazy.
No way.
Crazy disrespectful. Crazy disrespectful.
And I hate to say it like this because I love Damian Lillard. But come on. Damian Lillard should not have made that list over Dwight.
Nope. That's what I say.
He shouldn't have.
You can't.
He shouldn't have made it over Dwight.
We might have to do an episode.
I feel like there's more people that shouldn't have made it over Dwight, but Damian Lillard specifically stands out that he shouldn't have made over Dwight.
Definitely.
Anthony Davis shouldn't have made it over Dwight.
Nope.
No, Anthony Davis doesn't have one DPOY.
Street clothes?
Street clothes. Oh, not street clothes.
He said street clothes. The man got hurt. The man got hurt while he was playing them in the basketball game.
Who?
Yeah. You remember when the White House was playing when Anthony Davis was playing this stuff in NBA 2K? I think it was 2K. Yeah. And he was playing as himself. He got hurt in the game. He couldn't remember laugh.
Fuck all that. Bruh, Moo, let me ask you a question. What's the best ability?
Availability.
And Anthony Davis isn't that. Okay, let's move on.
Wow, there we go. Willie, before we get out of here, you said you had some anime to kick to us.
Yeah, real quick. I got in an argument with a dude today, and me and my little boy talked about it a little bit earlier before the show started. Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. He beat Homelander.
He gonna whoop Homelander's ass.
He gonna whoop Homelander's ass.
Unpopular opinion: Krillin's gonna beat Naruto ass too.
Oh, easily.
Oh, no question. No question.
Bruh, I think a lot of people forget Krillin is the only human with his potential unlocked.
Yep.
Meaning he is the strongest. Krillin is the only human and Earthling that went to Namek and got stronger, came back, trained and kicked. Bruh, people forget Krillin caught that fade with Kid Buu when he jumped to Otherworld. Krillin caught the fade.
Yep.
He did. Krillin is strong as shit. Krillin is at least 5 times stronger than TN. TN has already admitted, well, your dad is the strongest, to Marin, well, your dad is the strongest human on planet Earth. That should tell you enough.
Yep. He literally is. Like, he quite literally is. A lot of people forget that Krillin literally is, like, he's as old, well, probably not as old as Goku's, because Goku's a fucking alien, but they literally grew up trained together.
Yes.
Yep.
They were children. They grew up as adults, two adults together.
Right.
Meaning,
Krillin had to keep up with Goku.
Thank you. Meaning, this human being had to keep up with a full-blooded Saiyan his whole life.
Bruh, more importantly, in Dragon Ball, if you watch Dragon Ball, Master Roshi is the strongest human in Dragon Ball. Krillin surpasses Master Roshi in about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Literally surpasses him in about 3 months. Until, of course, y'all know he goes Jackie Chan and he beats Krillin, then he beats Goku, whatever. But for the most part, Krillin's the toe-to-toe as a kid with Master Roshi.
People be sleeping on Krillin, man. Don't be sleeping on Krillin.
Then the toe-to-toe. Then the toe-to-toe with all of Frieza's forces on Namek. Then the toe-to-toe with level 1 Frieza and got a good bit of Frieza and got a good portion of Frieza. Come on, dog.
People be sleeping on Krillin. Don't be sleeping on Krillin.
Sleeping on Krillin, man.
Yeah.
Don't be sleeping on my boy.
In a lot of debates lately, but the Krillin.
Yeah, y'all gonna get the fuck off my boy for real. I fuck with Krillin heavy.
Has to stop. But y'all know what time it is before we get up out of here. Final thoughts starting with my boy. Welcome back, DJ Michael B. What you got for us, man?
Well, y'all already know I see y'all on Monday, like Boo Wop say. But now on the flip side, look, man, y'all make sure and tune in to PVT tomorrow. I'm sorry, Inside the Huddle tomorrow, not PVT. PVT is tonight. Inside the Huddle tomorrow. ITH. Make sure you tune in with Moo and Mel. They're gonna keep y'all rocking with off-season stuff, off-season news, off-season headlines, what teams should make what moves and things like that. Of course, I'll be back here on Monday with Basket to Basket. Recognize I'm back, like the great T.I. said. And then, of course, Wednesday, I'll be right back here on GT. Want to give a shout out to my boy Moo for showing up on GT this week. And Willie, I know y'all got shows on Tuesdays, man, especially for wrestling. So you gotta hit me up and let me know, man. I can definitely come on at some point. So this is what we do over here, man. We collab, we love each other. I got nothing but love for Willie for Willie's WWE show. Shout out to Josie. On y'all WWE show. Just make sure you like, subscribe, and follow everybody here, everything they do. And yeah, man, I will see y'all Monday, if not tomorrow. Hopefully I can pop up on Inside the Huddle tomorrow if I get a chance. But I do have to DJ about an hour and a half away, so I will be driving. But I will definitely tune in. Thank y'all for y'all support, and I'm gone.
Willie Beeman, go ahead.
Real quick, you can catch me Saturday night, Geek Gauntlet Podcast, talking comics, anime, video games, you name it, we talk about it. Then I'm back Monday night, Sports Report Podcast, talking everything, football, basketball, get you caught up on baseball. We even talk hockey, golf. We talk about it all over on Sports Report. Then Tuesday night, it's fight night, baby. And it's going to be myself, Josie, Big Tone, and Mr. Stacks, talking about what's going down at WWE, AEW, Impact, MLW. Hell, well, you might even get some of that old school NWA in there. So definitely check us out on Tuesday nights. And that's
hold on real quick. You said NWA.
Mm-hmm.
What NWAs you talking about, my dog? I know what NWA you talking about, but just to clarify,
National Wrestling Alliance.
Okay,
I'm just saying. Because I was on the fuck the police thing for a second, like, oh, they talk NWA, but I had to remember.
Oh man, well, hey, y'all heard my boys. Make sure y'all go support, follow all the pages. Make sure y'all tune in to all of the podcasts, all the future podcasts that are coming up throughout the week and next week. We will make sure to see y'all then. Keep liking, keep subscribing, because we are growing every single day and we almost to where we want to be. We're trying to get a studio so all my boys can come together and just be in the one big room when we got to shoot and just happy, you know what I'm saying? So we don't got to go through all the technical difficulties and shit like that. But make sure y'all do that. I will be doing next week's show and all shows further on until next Monday via boat, because I am going to Mexico on a cruise. So y'all will see me on a cruise in a boat on
I don't like that.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
I don't like that.
He said,
no, wait. Who did you didn't turn in no vacation for him? I don't like that.
Getting in trouble by our resident DJ.
He's trying to pull a Kawhi. He's trying to pull a Kawhi. He's trying to pull a Kawhi.
He just trying to disappear for a while. That's all he doing.
You ain't put in no PTO yet.
So I just want to tell y'all next week, me and Willie will be hosting PBT because Moo will not fucking be here.
Y'all better go ahead, man. Hey, y'all heard my boys, man. Shoot, if I ain't here, the show must go on, and them boys gonna pop up on screen hosting the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
But we appreciate y'all for sliding through. Everybody sliding through. Make sure you guys go tune in and watch all the rest of the shows throughout the week. Catch us on Spotify as well, and we will see y'all soon.
Girl, you rockin' like